Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Night of Champions 2017, right around the corner. This, of course, is the last WWE pay-per-view of the season, of the year. Once again, we are going to be getting AJ Styles going up against Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, of course, won the championship from Randy Orton, beat Orton in a couple of matches. He beat him in a Punjabi prison match when Great Khali came back. Then he went out and I think he beat Nakamura 3 times in a row on pay-per-view. A lot of people thought that this was to help numbers in India. WWE just went on that tour in India, and I'm not going to say that it was not a financial success for WWE, but it definitely was not a record-breaking trip for them. They actually sold less tickets than they did 2 years ago when they went. Yes, the people there do love Jinder Mahal, but I think they honestly would love WWE even more if the Jinder Mahal storyline wasn't going on. I think that they're normal wrestling fans. I don't think that they are going to separate themselves from baby faces and heels, whether if a guy is from India or not. I think that they tried to recreate the magic of the Hart Foundation of 1997, where basically Bret Hart did the turn, and then of course every time they jumped over the Canada-United States line, all of a sudden this guy that was a heel was the biggest babyface in the world, and it just turned into Bizarro Land, as WWE liked to call it back then. But they're going to do this match one more time. It was at the last pay-per-view at Survivor Series, that right before the AJ versus Brock Lesnar match, you saw Jinder Mahal confront AJ Styles, and I don't think they even really said anything. I think they just exchanged glances, and I really was looking forward to seeing Jinder interrupt that match and be the reason why Brock beat AJ, but they let them have a clean match. I thought it honestly was really, really good. Jinder stayed in the back, but Jinder is the #1 contender. He's going to be getting his rematch after that title change that happened on SmackDown last month before Survivor Series, and we'll have to see what happens. I really thought that Jinder was going to just be moving on into a secondary storyline, and we'll see where he goes from there. I know that I always sort of had this long-standing thing that when a guy becomes WWE champion and becomes World Heavyweight Champion, WWE doesn't like to let those people go. I mean, you look and see Jack Swagger. He was one of my favorite wrestlers, but they kept him around for a long time. He was champion in 2010, and he didn't get his release until 2010. And even being the biggest Jack Swagger fan there could be, I mean, he won the United States Championship, I believe, twice. Once in 2011, once in 2013. He won the Elimination Chamber. He went on to be in the World Heavyweight Championship match for WrestleMania 29. But really nothing big ever really happened for him ever since then. I mean, they did releases here and there along the way, and I think him being a former champion and them not wanting him to show up on an episode of Impact and sort of have that waiting over their head. I mean, the only guys that were former champions that really ever get out of WWE was Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle, and both of those really came back and bit them in the butt. So I think Jinder is going to be around for a really, really long time. I would really be surprised if he gets another title shot after this. To me, Night of Champions is just sort of, or it's not even Night of Champions, it's Clash of the Champions, is it? I'm pretty sure this is the Clash of the Champions. Night of Champions went away a few years ago, but I get them mixed up. But I just think that, he's just sort of going to fade into the background like a Yoshitatsu, or I'm trying to think of who is a guy from Mexico that, they just sort of keep around, and then when they go to Mexico on the Mexican tours, all of a sudden is like the bright light and shining armor. They're like, hey, look at this guy. Don't you love him? Everybody's like, no, we really, really don't. But You know, I think that this is going to be an easy win for AJ Styles. I know that I don't think the Singh brothers have been around other than house shows since we had the beatdown of Jinder Mahal beating them up. So we'll have to see what goes down with this match at the Clash of the Champions. But I think that this is easily going to be a match that we're going to see AJ win this. I mean, no doubt in my mind, AJ's winning this match, and that's just going to be about it. And when it comes down to it, I think that this is going to be a one-match show. I think that the tag match with the 4 teams in there could be something that catches my attention when I'm watching it, because let's face it, I'm probably going to watch this show. But when it really comes down to it, other than the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Nakamura, Orton match, which doesn't even really have 100% of my attention, I think that other than that, I can't really think of any highlights that are going to be on this show that's going to be a big deal. To me, wrestling sort of fades to the background and takes a back seat during the wintertime. Or not even during the wintertime, just during Christmas time. I mean, come on, man. Go out and see Santa or something like that. So, we'll see what goes down on Sunday. I think it's Sunday. But if not, peace out, everybody.